There is one debate that has raged on since the dawn of time. Vandal or Phantom? They're both the same price, so surely they both must be just as good, right? Well, not exactly. This is actually a topic I made a video on a couple years ago that caught a lot of attention. You don't have to watch the whole video, I'll actually sum it up for you. For most of the game, the Phantom has just been flat out better in most situations. However, there's always been this really interesting phenomenon. Despite the Phantom being statistically better, still users seem to prefer the Vandal. The reason for this has to do with its one-hit headshot potential. You see, the Phantom is not always a guaranteed one-hit headshot. And for some players, including myself, that is an absolute deal breaker. The consistency of being able to kill your target in just one hit is so important when you're playing the game that for most players, it doesn't even matter to them that the gun might be less accurate or have less bullets. But recently, there was a change that nobody seemed to even comment on. I'd hate to say it, but our beloved Vandal has been nerfed. And this change was so drastic that even myself, a lifelong Vandal user, has switched to using the Phantom. And I'm about to tell you why. But before I do, listen, there is a lot of players coming to Valorant recently with the release of console and the brand new act. The game might feel kind of overwhelming at first and maybe even confusing, but once you get the grasp on it, it's really not that bad. If you're looking to jumpstart your Valorant career and get as good as you can as fast as possible, then over at SkillCapped, we've expertly designed our courses to get you caught up to speed immediately so that you can start fragging. Our Aim God Masterclass is just under an hour long and contains 22 exclusive videos that will teach you all of the fundamentals that you need to learn to perfect your aim in game. Not only that, but you'll also get access to dozens of other courses to literally never run out of content. You'll learn every trick there is in the book, and we literally guarantee that. That's right, if you don't climb while using our service, you will get your money back, no questions asked. For most players, it can literally take thousands of hours to climb, but for you, it could take just a few weeks. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month, and other than that, let's take a look at these changes. Now, it all started in patch 8.11. We had a bunch of agent changes in this patch, namely the change to ISO that allows him to use double tap at any point in the round. They also added Neon's crazy full accuracy while sliding. There were some other changes this patch to Reyna and Clove, but beyond that, Riot actually snuck in a change that nobody noticed. The Vandal now sucks butt cheeks. Okay, that wasn't actually what the patch notes said, but hear me out. Valorant has always been in a constant state of slow utility creep. The more stuff that gets added to the game that we have to shoot has always made the Phantom a slightly more favorable choice over the Vandal. Think things like Deadlock's wall. It's an absolute nightmare to break, and just straight up, we can break it a lot easier with the Phantom than with a Vandal. Now, this hasn't mattered so much before because Deadlock wasn't super viable anyway. You don't see her often. But beyond Deadlock, we also have things like Reyna's blinds, Sova's drones, Fade's haunt, Fade's prowlers, Gekko's ult, Gekko's wingman, Gekko's dizzy. There's a lot of destructible utility. And again, for a while, it didn't matter that much. But with these duelist changes, especially ISO's shield, we have a new issue. You see, the main benefit of a Vandal has always been the one-hit headshot. That's why you buy it, because when you shoot a player in the head, they die. But now, they don't. If you're fighting an ISO with a shield and you shoot him in the head, he will not die. That is a massive issue for the gun. So much so that I would argue that if you are playing against an ISO, it is not worth it for you to buy a Vandal. Now, the difference here with the Phantom, although you still have to break that shield first, you now have a gun that is still going to be far more accurate than it would be with the Vandal. Take a look at these bursts on the wall in the practice range. Notice how even after 3 to 4 bullets with the Vandal, my bullets start to go crazy? With the Phantom, not only does my second shot come out sooner, because again, it has a faster fire rate, but it also comes out much more accurately. In high elo, this can quite literally be the difference between you getting run over by an ISO player or you landing the crucial round-winning kill that you need. It's not just ISO though. The Neon buffs also really don't help. Now, although her movement speed was always difficult to track, and that hasn't changed, her accuracy while sliding makes her 10 times more deadly. Because of this, Neon is being played all the time in matchmaking. If a Neon is sliding across your screen, they're going to be shooting at you, and if you're not shooting back, you're in trouble. With the Vandal though, the problem is that if you shoot back and you whiff those first few shots, you're oftentimes not going to be able to correct afterwards. With the Phantom, however, the spray is dumbed down so much that you can kind of just aim in their general direction. But the Vandal, not so much. It really puts you in an interesting predicament where over time, as more and more things are added into Valorant, more utility, more movement, more riot shields, the Vandal always takes a hit, and the Phantom always looks more and more appealing. Now, this isn't going to be something that you notice immediately. It's not like overnight everyone is just going to start using the Phantom. But I want you to really pay attention in your games going forward. The next time you're ulted by an ISO and you have a Vandal, think about how obnoxious it is that you have to break his shield before ever going for that headshot. How much more effort is it going to take to track a Neon across your screen? How much ammo are you putting into breaking utility? Think about those clutch moments where you just straight up run out of bullets in your mag and lose just because of that. Everyone feels it with a Phantom when they dink somebody for 140. It sucks. It's something that is so easy to blame a lost gunfight on because the game is clearly telling you you hit them in the head, but it didn't matter. But it's a lot less easy to see the rounds that you lost because you had a Vandal instead of a Phantom. You don't see the accuracy difference because you can always just say that, well, I would have whiffed regardless. You don't see the times that you ran out of bullets because the immediate thought is if I just landed my shot, it wouldn't have mattered. But I'm telling you, not only is using the Phantom like playing the game on easy mode, as time goes on, it's also going to become a necessity. If you needed more reasons to consider using the Phantom, here's some other things to keep in mind. This act breezed left the map pool, easily one of the longest range maps where the damage fall off on the Phantom was a bit more noticeable. And while Split also left the map pool, which was a great map for the Phantom, now we have Haven back in the map pool, which really doesn't have a lot of long range fights that you're going to be taking, as well as Abyss, which I'll give it to you, has a lot of long range angle. But it also has destructible doors, which as discussed favor the Phantom. These doors are hardly relevant to the argument here though, it is just funny that they exist. No, what's really relevant on Abyss is that this map is kind of looking to be a pretty heavy post-plant map. You see in high elo, a trend has kind of surfaced on quite a few maps where you basically just plant the spike in a corner and then you run away and spam the spike through the smokes to win the round. You generally want to do this on sites where there isn't a ton of space to play on the site itself. So think of like B on Icebox for example, or B on Sunset. Both of these sites can be kind of tough to hold for post plant. If you just sit on site and the defenders execute a retake, more than likely you're just going to get run over by utility. So to avoid this, what do? Well, we just sit in main, ping the spike, and spray through smokes. Now, although you can do this with a Vandal, if you do, the enemy is going to see your bullet tracers, and guess what? They're going to spray you back. With the Phantom though, it makes it much more difficult to punish, and not only that, but you have more bullets. So if the enemy uses things like Harbor Cove, Sage Wall, or Wingman to defuse, you can have enough ammo to continuously stop them. And again, you can do all of this with the Vandal, but it's much, much less effective. The more you think about it for any given situation, the more you realize that the Vandal just isn't what it needs to be right now. The Phantom is better in almost every single way, and it almost makes me wonder why even buy a Vandal. The thing you're paying for is a one-hit headshot, and in the current meta with ISO being so common and ranked, the one-hit headshot isn't even guaranteed all the time, so why bother? I'm really interested to see if the statistics change for this in the next act, and we start seeing pro players favor the Phantom a lot more, because for me, it feels like it's just outclassing the Vandal in every single way recently. That's just my opinion though. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what gun you use if you don't know how to shoot it. If you're really new to the game or just never really able to master your aim, then I promise you, I can help you out. Over at SkillCapped, I designed an hour-long 22 video course that details everything you have to know to get godlike aim in Valorant. And I mean everything, literally how to break down crosshair placement, movement, positioning, how to play off your teammates. I even go into how to get more multi-kills. Don't just take my word for it though. I'm so confident that we can help you frag out that we even offer a rank improvement guarantee. This means if you don't climb, you don't pay. We do this because our service works. It works so well in fact that we're able to offer by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. With hundreds of videos sorted into dozens of courses, no one else can compare. We also offer a direct line of feedback with our coaches in Discord to make sure that you are constantly connected to the best advice possible. Sign up now for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. And other than that, my name is Casey, and we'll catch you in the next one.